me give my disclaimer first. The ideas, thoughts, and beliefs that I share this morning are solely my own and do not represent the New York State Education Department, although I think they're damn good. All right. I am honored and grateful to be able to talk to you about something so near and dear to my heart: education. A great education changed my life and has given me options and experiences that my ancestors could not even think about. And I want that for every youngster. You see, from my bio, I'm an education insider. And today, I'm going to reveal 3 inside secrets to a great school system. The paradox in this, of course, is that these inside secrets are hiding in plain sight. That said, to get the most out of these secrets, to build a great school system, we'll have to answer 2 key questions around greatness. Great for who, and great for what? See, if we can be honest and candid in answering those questions, we are on our way to the first step in creating a great school system. But before I get too deep into this, I want to level set and just say that education boils down to 3 things: teaching, learning, and leading. So now, let's go. Inside secret number 1, hire for why. When we hire for why, we hire for a person's stated and demonstrated reason, cause, or purpose as to why they want to teach or lead in our school system. This is adapted for education. I did it myself. From Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And it looks like this when we play it out. Everyone in education can articulate what they teach or what they lead in the context of content and structure. So one may teach history. One may teach biology. For leaders, one may lead a middle school. One may lead the fine arts department. This is what they teach. This is what they lead. Even fewer people can articulate how they teach or how they lead. So, for example, one may teach using a culturally relevant pedagogy anchored in inquiry-based instruction. Or one may teach using the Harkness method. For leaders, it might be one takes the servant leadership model, or one can be an autocrat dictator. This is how they teach. This is how they lead. But even fewer people can articulate their why in education. Again, their reason, cause, or purpose as to why they teach or lead in a school system. See, the why could very well be the most important factor in teaching and leading a school system to greatness. See, if the why is strong enough, the ability to be creative and innovative will be strong enough when the storm hits. Now, you might say, now, why might a storm hit, Dr. A? I'm glad you asked. A storm might hit because to be creative and innovative requires at least some change. And when we lead change, we invite the storm. We invite the resistance. So I'm going to tell you my why in education, why I do what I do every day. On April 25th, 1990, I made an impromptu trip home to Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I had gone to an all-star high school basketball game at St. John's University. My best friend, Rob, was a high school all-city basketball player, and me and his brother Tyrone, we were hanging out. And the story began when I decided to drive them home. So we drive up through the neighborhood, we make our way home. I make a right onto Clawson Avenue, a sharp right on Madison Street, and as I'm driving down Madison Street, I notice that everyone is outside. They're either sitting on their stoops or they're standing outside of their homes. And this was weird because it was 9:30 and it was the middle of the week. People had school, people had work, but it had been a very warm day out. So we pull in front of Rob's house, 47 Madison Street. We all get out the car. I step into the front yard, and Miss Mary, his mother, gives me a hug. She says, "El, have you been home yet?" I say, caught me by surprise. No hello, no how you doing, no how's school. She said, "Go directly home." And she gave me a tighter hug before she let me go. So I leave immediately, and I walk up the street, and I'm in the middle of the street, and I see everyone out. So I wave to people, and people either give me a faint wave or they just turn their head and look down, which is weird because I think I have a pretty nice personality, but not on that night. So I get to my house. I go across the street, and I see my brother Ariel, then 19, outside of the brownstone. And in front of him is my younger brother, about 13, and my sister to his left. And I see my sister wiping tears away from her eyes. And my brother, he just turns his head until we make eye contact. And he says, "Yo, you heard?" "No, hello." So something's up. I said, "Heard what?" He said, "They killed Raphael." Raphael was my older brother of 21. So I was shocked and in disbelief. So I just left him. I ran up the stairs, got into the house. And on the third floor, I heard something. So I knew it was my mother, Ima, Hebrew for mother. I go up the stairs, she gives me a hug. And she says, "You're going to make something with your life." And I say to myself, "And I'll carry the torch for Raphael." The next day, I have to go to Kings County morgue to identify the body. So I go there, and the assistant coroner gives me a Polaroid picture. Now, if you're in your 20s, that would be something that you'd have to go and Google. But they gave me a Polaroid instant picture, and it was my brother, but it looked like he was sleeping. And so I'm still in kind of shock and disbelief. And even then, I was an evidence man. I say, "Can I see the death certificate?" And the gentleman goes and gets me a file, gives me an 8.5 and 11 sheet of paper, and I scan it to look for cause of death. And when I see neatly typed in the box, multiple gunshot wounds to the head, a part of my connection to human beings died. Because this was unequivocal. This was brutal. And I knew people can do that. And I said, okay. Raphael was very intelligent, way smarter than me. And despite dropping out of high school, he ranks as one of the top 3 people I know in terms of intelligence. But the world never got to see his brilliance. There's Larry Aronstein, PhD out of Buffalo State University, retired superintendent of schools, award-winning educator, author. We even wrote a book together, The Inside Secrets to Getting Your School Leadership Job. I'm into giving out secrets. There's Hall of Fame boxing promoter Don King, PhD from the streets of Cleveland, Ohio. Brilliant businessman, razor sharp with the numbers when it comes to making money for himself. And there is, click, Anael Alston. But the world never got to see his brilliance. My why in education is to ensure that every young person that I'm charged with leading and educating, from pre-kindergarten through graduate school, has the experiences and opportunities to develop their intellect and character and help the world see their brilliance. Inside secret number 1, hire for the why. Click. Inside secret number 2, use an informed plan guided by a clear mission. An informed plan takes the latest evidence-based research on brain development, teaching, learning, and engagement, adjusts for conditions and circumstances, and is executed based on the mission. Let me share what that looks like in real life. I moved my family from Quogue, Long Island, to upstate central New York. That conversation with my wife is a separate TED Talk. Woo! So I'm superintendent of schools, and it's a good school district with great people. But over the years, the community, the school district had been changing. There had been an uptick in poverty. Having spent at least some of my childhood in poverty, I knew that being poor is not a sentence to mediocrity and failure in a school system. And so early on, I called a cabinet meeting with a caveat. I said I wanted the school counselors to come to the meeting as well. And they're telling me all of this great stuff. Oh, we have this and we have that and this program, and all good stuff. So at some point I say, well, who's at risk for not graduating this year? And they tell me about 6 students. And this is from a pool of about 40. This is not a large district. And I say, well, what are the reasons? And they give me a list of reasons, all kind of reasons. For example, well, Johnny is a special education student, and we don't know if we can get him past the Regents because he's failed it twice already. Okay. And Sarah, well, she's smart, but her mother struggles with alcoholism, and she misses school a lot, and they live on a trailer outside of town. Not a trailer park, a trailer. I said, okay, all right. And this goes on for about 20 minutes. And at some point, I'm listening, and I pull my chair up, and I say, okay, what is the plan to ensure that these people graduate? And the room went silent, an awkward silence. You know, the kind of silence in high school where a guy asks a girl, say, hey, I want to date you and take you out, and she says, well, you're such a nice guy, and I really like you, but as a brother, and I wouldn't want to hurt our relationship. That awkward silence right there. Now, I'm not saying that happened to me. I just want to be clear. I mean, it might have happened once, maybe twice. But let's just move on. Take my word for it. It was an awkward silence. So at a certain point, the principal says, why don't we table that, and we'll come back. Okay, I'm a reasonable guy. So the next meeting, everyone comes in ready, and the energy is up, and they have a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet has the student's name, and it has all of the things that they're dealing with that put them at risk for not graduating. And it has the things that the staff and will do to assist these youngsters getting to the finish line. I said, great, what a great idea. This is magic. Why don't we do this? We'll put it on the monthly agenda, and every meeting, someone will report out how the student's doing, what we've done, and we'll see what happens. Well, guess what happened when we got to June? All of the students graduated. Like magic. So, if you don't think this works, same district, 2019 graduation rate, 76%. Inside secret number 2, use an informed plan guided by a clear mission. Inside secret number 3, have courage through the storm. I'm talking to somebody in here. Have courage through the storm. Having courage through the storm means having the fortitude to continue to do what is right instead of what is popular in the face of resistance and attacks. Those attacks might be personal, Those attacks might be professional, and they sting just as well, but there are attacks. However, for us to do what is needed, for us to grow and tap into our young people's best lives, someone has to be willing to take it on. See, creativity, innovation, and change are no longer options in a great school system. They're bare minimum. But we know if we push any of those levers too hard or too fast, and in some places, if you touch those levers at all, you are inviting a storm. Click. See, courage through the storm means hiring the right person and not pandering to the politics. Courage through the storm means doing what is necessary and not what is new wave. Courage through the storm means I'm willing to take it on. And for those who understand that a great education for some students is their only ticket out of poverty, courage through the storm is the only option. For those who understand that for America to continue to be great, courage through the storm is the only option. And I just want to offer my version of Invictus for anyone who needs encouragement through the storm. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the felt clutch of circumstance, sometimes the opposition will have us in a clutch, but in the felt clutch of circumstance, we have not winced nor cried aloud. But under the bludgeoning of chance, boom, 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 under the bludgeoning of chance, boom, 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 under the bludgeoning of chance, because if they kick you in behind, if they're mad because you're in front of them, just keep on running. But under the bludgeoning of chance, our head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find us unafraid. Unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. We are the masters of our fate. We are the captains of our soul. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and followers, sinners and saints, damas y caballeros, escúchame. We have the opportunity to transform and transmogrify the hearts, the souls, the minds, the spirits of an entire nation of young people, of young professionals, of adults to step into their greatness, to let the world see their brilliance and to tap into their best talents. But great school system has to be a part of that equation. Because if we don't, when we awaken, our so-called spots will be taken. Thank you.